Good morning, students. Let's start with the topic array. So students, in the previous lecture we have studied about the basic introduction of array, that is why we use array. So where we have studied that we use array is a data structure. We use array to store the data in consecutive memory locations, and in array we can store homogeneous data elements. Now we have to study the next part of array. So we have also studied about the syntax of the array, that is how we have to declare an array. So the syntax is data type, array name, array size. You can provide any name as an array name, and in the array size you have to give the size of the array that you want to use, and the data type depends upon the requirement of the user, that what type of data user want to store. Next is here is an example that how we have to declare an array. So let's start with this example. Integer salary 10. So this is a array. So int is a data type. So integer is the data type. It means we can store integer value. Salary is the name of the salary which is provided by user. So this is a name of array, salary. 10 is the size of the array. So the size of an array must be an integer constant, and the data type can be any valid C++ data type. We cannot give the size of array in floating point numbers. So the size of array always be in constant number. Whereas you can give any type of data type, you can choose any type of data type. Data type will provide you the way that you can store different type of data in a array. But there is one thing, that if you are declaring an array, then you cannot make use of two different data types in a same array. That is not allowed in C++. So whenever you have to choose any of the data type, you have to choose data type for the whole array, not for some elements. Next is initialization of array. So students, as in this example we have studied that how we have to declare an array. So this is the declaration of the array. Now we have to study the initialization of array. Now what is initialization of array? Initialization means when we provide value at the starting point. So in C++, elements of an array can be initialized one by one or using a single statement. Now what is the syntax to initialize array? Look at the syntax which is written in blue line. Float, balance. So first of all, float is a data type, balance is the name of the array, and 5 is the size of the array. It means in this array we can store 5 elements of float type, is equals to curly bracket. In the curly bracket, now we have given 5 elements because the size of the array is 5 and the data type of the array is float. So here we have given 5 elements: 100 point, 1000.0, 2.0, 3.4, 7.0 and 5. So it means we have initialized a array. Now look at the diagram given below, that how these elements will be represented in array. Look at the diagram. The index, the size of the array is 5, so the index number is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and every element is stored in consecutive memory location. So the location of 1000 is 0, whereas the location of 50 is 4. So the number of values between the braces cannot be larger than the number of elements that we declare for the array between square brackets. So the meaning of this is, if we are giving the size of the array as 5, we cannot give more than 5 elements in an array. So this is how you can initialize a array. Next is array concepts. So see students, in this example I have told you that this is a single dimensional array. Single dimensional array means there is only one dimension of an array. It can be either row or column, but C++ provide us way that we can also create array with different dimensions. So now we have to study that part also. So let's start with this array concepts. Multi-dimensional array. So it means you can also create array with multiple dimensions like row, column, either row or column with both row and column. So this is how you can create multi-dimensional array. So C++ supports multi-dimensional array. The simplest form of the multi-dimensional array is the two-dimensional array. Next is pointer to an array. Now what is pointer to an array? You can generate a pointer to the first element of an array by simply specifying the array name without any index. So it means we can also create pointer to an array. Now what is pointer? Pointer is a reference variable. Pointer is a variable which points to the address of some variable. So we can also make use of pointers with an array. Next is passing array to function. So we have also studied functions, and individually we have also studied arrays. Now there is one more concept that we can also pass an array to a full-fledged function. So this is the benefit of C++. So you can pass to the function a pointer to an array by specifying the array's name without an index. Next is return array from functions. You can also return array from functions. As in a function, we also make use of return statement to return the values. So we can return array as an value. So C++ allows a function to return an array. Now with this we have completed the array topic. Now we have to start with the next topic of this unit, pointer. Now what is pointer and why we use pointers? So pointers are the memory address variable. So when we store some variable in memory, then we can point to that variable by using pointers. So pointer is a user defined data type which creates special type of variables which can hold the address of primitive data type like char, integer, float, double, or user defined data type like function, pointer, etc. Or it can also hold a value of derived data type like array, structure, and union enum. So basically pointer is a variable which holds the address of any other variable. Pointer is a variable whose value is the address of another variable. I have already explained you. So like any variable or constant, you must declare a pointer before you can work with it. So as we have studied in C++ that whenever we have to use a variable, function, array, we first have to declare all these things. So similarly, if we want to use pointers, we also have to declare the pointers first. So here is the syntax that how you have to declare a pointer. The syntax is data type asterisk, this is a pointer, pointer variable name. So data type pointer variable name, this is the syntax that how you have to declare a pointer, and it ends with semicolon. Using pointers in C++. Now the next topic is why we use pointers in C++. There are few important operations which we will do with the pointers very frequently. So this is the reason why we make use of pointers, because pointers provides us facility that we can perform operations, or we can access the data at a very fast rate. So the first point is we define a pointer variables. Next is assign the address of a variable to a pointer, and finally access the value at the address available in the pointer variable. So this all is done by using unary operator that returns the value of the variable located at the address specified by its operand. So this is how we can make use of pointers in C++. Next is there are some concepts which are related to pointer. So let's start that. C++ null pointers. So C++ also supports null pointers, which is a constant with a value of 0 defined in several standard libraries. So we can also create null pointers, and we can make use of null pointers. C++ pointer arithmetic. So there are 4 arithmetic operators that can be used with pointers, that is plus, that is increment, minus, that is decrement, and plus, minus. So these all are the 4 operators that we can use with the pointers. C++ pointers versus arrays. Now there is a close relationship between pointers and array. See now how and why there is a close relationship between pointer and array, because in the last lecture we have studied that in case of array we can also call, or we can return the value, or we can refer the element by using pointers, and similarly in pointers we can also pass arrays. So this is the reason that they are very close to each other. Next is C++ array of pointers. So you can define arrays to hold a number of pointers. So for example, we want to store number of pointers. So we have facility that we can make use of array. Why we can make use of array? Because array is a data structure and we can store number of values in array. So similarly, we make use of array to store the pointer values. C++ pointer to pointer. C++ also allows you to have pointer on a pointer and so on. So this is again a new concept, that pointer to pointer. So we can also create pointer to pointer. Next is passing pointers to functions. So passing an argument by reference or by address both enable the passed arguments to be changed in the calling function by the called function. So we also have privilege that we can also pass pointers to function. We have already studied that thing in the last video or last slide. Next is return pointer from function. We have already studied that we can also return the value in the form of pointers in case of functions, because in functions we make use of return statement to return the value. So C++ allows a function to return a pointer to local variable, static variable, and dynamic variable. So with this, students, we have completed this topic, that pointers, that what is pointer and why we make use of pointer, where we have studied the basic introduction of pointer, how to use pointers in C++, and what are the concepts of pointer. Next topic is string. Now what is string and why we use string? String is a combination of characters. So when we combine the characters, it becomes string. So I have just taken an example of a string hello. So hello is a string. So whenever you have to write a string, we always write string in double quotes. So the following declaration and initialization create a string consisting of the word hello. So hello is a string, your name is a string, college word is a string, Arham name is a string. To hold the null character at the end of an array, the size of the character array containing the string is more than the number of characters in the word hello. So it means if you want to store hello word, hello string, then you have to consider the last element as the null. Why we consider as it null? Because sometimes we have to exchange the element, so we require space to accommodate that characters. Now in the following method, it is given that how you have to declare a string. So look at the first example. First method is char greeting 6. So the name of the array is greeting and the data type is char and the size of the array is 6. It means we are going to store 6 characters. So when you have to write a single character, you have to write it in a single quote. When you have to write a complete string, you have to write it in a double quote. So HELLO is a single character and last character is the null. Now the second way to declare a string is char greeting. So here we have not given the size of the array. Char is the data type, greeting is the name, and the string is hello. So it means in this we by default require 6 blocks. So this is how you can declare a string. Look at the example how we can store string by using array. So we had string hello, HELLO. So we have stored in an array and the last character is the null character. Now next topic is functions of string. This is very important topic because C++ provides us string functions and they are very easy to use and they are very important. We just simply have to remember the name of every function of string, then we can use it to perform the specific task. So the first function is string copy. String copy function is used to copy the string from one string into another string s1 comma s2. So this will copy the string s2 into s1. Next function of string is string cat. String cat function is used to concatenate the string to combine the string. So concatenates string s2 onto the end of the string 1. Next function is string length. String length function is used to calculate the length of the string and it also returns the length of the string s1. Next function is string CMP. String CMP function is used to compare the string. So it returns 0 if s1 and s2 are the same, less than 0 if s1 is less than s2, and greater than 0 if s1 is greater than s. So compare function is used to compare two strings. Next is string char, CHR, string char. It returns a pointer to the first occurrence of character CH in a string s1. So string char function is basically used to find the location of a specific character. So according to this example, we have checked the occurrence of the CH. So it will find the occurrence of the CH. Next is str s1 comma s2. So it returns a pointer to the first occurrence of string 2 in string 1. So these all there is one more function, string reverse. I forgot to write that name in this slide. String reverse function is used to reverse the string. So these all are the string related functions. So with this, students, we have completed the string topic where we have studied the definition of the string. This is how you have to declare a string and the string functions. The next topic that we have to start is file handling. So in the file handling, we will study regarding the different operations of the file and how we can make use of file. So in today's lecture, we have studied array, initialization of array. This is how you have to initialize the array, declaration of array, concepts of array. After that, we have studied pointers, where we have studied what is pointer and why we use pointer. Using pointers in C++, how we can make use of pointers in C++, and the basic concepts of pointers. After that, we have started with the strings. These all are the strings and these are the functions of the string. Now we are going to start with the next topic, file handling. Now what is file? File is a collection of records. So we can store number of records in a file. So in this topic we have to study that if we are creating a file and if we have a file, how we have to handle that part and why we use files. So file handling concept in C++ language is used for to store a data permanently in computer. Using file handling we can store our data in secondary memory, that is hard disk. Next question is why we use file handling, why we are studying file handling, because it is very important to study, because everyone must know that how you can store your data in a efficient and effective way and in a safe manner. So why we use file handling? For permanent storage of the data, the transfer of input data or output data from one computer to another can be easily transferred by using files. So this is the reason why we use files. Next is for read and write from a file you need another standard C++ library functions. So whenever you have to perform read write operation, you have these following functions of the file system: offstream, ifstream, fstream. Offstream is used to create a file and write data on files. Fstream is used to read only data from the files. So fstream is for read only purpose. Fstream is used to both read and write data from and to files, whereas offstream is used to create a file and write data on files. So these all are the operations of files. Next is how to achieve file handling. So for achieving file handling in C++, we need following steps. So these are the steps that we require: naming a file, opening a file, reading data from file, writing data into file, and closing a file. Naming a file means you have to provide a name to a file. You have, when you want to open a file, you want to read perform read only operation on a file, you want to update a file, that is you want to write data into file, and you want to close a file. Now file handling functions, these are the functions which are used to handle files. Open function, open function is used to create a file. Close function is used to close an existing file. Get function is used to read a single character from a file. Put function is used to write a single character in file. Read function is used to read data from file. Write function is used to write data into file. So these all are the file handling functions. So with this, students, we have completed this unit C++, where we have studied all the basic concepts of C++. Tomorrow we will start with next unit. So that's all for today.